Hello and welcome again to a new session of Azure Support Academy. As we mentioned in chapter 11, very often we receive questions about how to measure the time spent executing a query or a bunch of query between a client application until we receive the data from the database. In chapter 11, we talk about Azure SQL database, but in this case, we are going to explain how to measure using Azure Database for MySQL. As we mentioned in chapter 11, to measure the connectivity in Azure SQL database, we were able to use the retrieve statistics. In this case, we are going to use other options that we have in MySQL. The agenda contains 3 points. One of them is how to obtain the example script. This is the source of this Power script. Another one is about our blog that you have an explanation about how to use. Following, we are going to talk about how to configure the parameters of this PowerShell script. And finally, we are going to cover how to run the script. My name is Jose Manuel Jurado. I am a support escalation engineer working in Microsoft and site master expert in SQL DB and MySQL. Also, I am a speaker in several events like SQL Saturday, Degree, SQL Nexus, etc. So let's get started. Okay, right now we are going to delete this file. Okay, right now we have the load of files by SQL connectivity test. This is the PowerShell script. The first that we need to install is the MySQL client driver for .NET. It's very important for MySQL. It's very important because we were not able to connect if we don't have installed this client driver. So finally, we are going to configure the different parameter. This is our server, our MySQL server, our user. This is our username. Remember that it's very important to specify at the end of the username the server following by uh, the @ sign. So the password, we are going to use pooling. Pooling, as you know, we mentioned in our chapter 11, it's one way. It's to be the connection will be more faster if you try to connect without using pooling. We reuse the connections that we made previously in order to save our time. We are going to run this on a special query or a bunch of query. If you want to run a bunch of query, you just only need to include in this file one query per line about how many queries or what is the query that you want to run. So in this case, we are going to run 10 times this query, these 10 queries, each by each. So this is our connection. We are going to use the connection from MySQL. As we mentioned in chapter 11, from to test the connectivity using the SQL Azure database, we use the retrieve statistics. In this case, we don't have this option, but MySQL offers us one option that is set profiling equals 1. That means that you are going to have some information about the duration of the query or all the phases that we have when we run one query. We have a bunch of phase. It's time, so we are going to retrieve all time spent in duration, CPU user, and CPU system for each query that we are going to run. We are going to save the data in this file, my.log. Finally, okay, let's try to run it. Okay, we finish. I'm going to right now to open this file. We have a new file. It's my.log. As you could see, we have, this is the number of iteration. This is number 0. It's select 1. We run the first time we have 203 milliseconds, and the duration of the query, it's starting, checking the permission, opening tables in it. It's the time spent for each phase that we have trying to execute select 1. In a similar way, we are going to run the select 2, select 3, etc. As you can see, the time, it's the first time it's 200 milliseconds, but the next time it's 0 or 15 milliseconds. This is normal because using pooling, we are using the connection. So the time spent to open a new socket or new TCP port is it's minimum. So we have different phases, and at the end, this process took around 4 seconds, and you in this URL you have all the information about server filing equals once, etc. I forgot one thing. If you don't have this file, uh, by default we are going just all run select one. It's the super step. Okay. If you have any questions, please send an email to jmjurado@microsoft.com. And thank you so much for your time attending this session. And we'll see you in another chapter. Thank you so much. Bye.